Hi friends, it's Monday, November 17th, 2014. Beautiful date, numerically. For our video work today, the instructions are clear. To do what is ours to do in all dimensions, to trigger the awakening right now. And with that, it begins. This is fascinating. I feel like we're merging with this planet, the planet that the mountain is the pinnacle of.
That's true.
And that the planet is also the bird.
That's true.
It's as if we are the bird, we are the planet. Maybe this is why the bird has become so huge. Maybe the bird is the planet. I look up, and there's the hole.
There it is.
Through the hole in the top of a tent, almost.
It is like the hole in the top of the tent.
And I feel as though I've been in this tent feeling like it was a safe place. But I clearly see the hole, and it isn't just a torn hole.
No, it's a hole.
It's sewn, a manufactured hole. But that is where to fly out of. So we just start flying just straight up and out, and it's like up and out and into the light. Straight up.
That's
like
true.
flying with focus, not lazily.
Right, not just
floating up. Yes, really
That's true.
going with intent. It's almost like switching to night vision, and now I just know where to go. It's
That's
from
true.
my sensing
That's
organ.
true.
I know where to go. I start to see a light ahead,
Yes.
like in a window, but it's way up, straight up. Now I feel like I'm sitting on the windowsill tapping to get in, and I'm perching on a finger,
That's true.
so it must be human type person.
It's true. It is.
And I hear a kind voice saying, "Why do you have this over your eyes?" Taking something off my eyes.
Oh, it's much brighter. But the human finger is stroking my back and my head.
Yes, encouraging me to just open up. I can do that. There's something to eat. Kind person. And it's been a long journey. I think I'll eat this, and then I see where to roost. I think I can go to sleep here. And as I drop off to sleep, it's like I'm falling through the bottom of me,
That's true.
and I'm on the mountain.
Whoa.
In my human self, and I'm walking down to the boundary of the sacred space.
Yes, I can see it. It's like a line.
This whole top of the mountain is consecrated ground. So we're walking down here, and we're going to sit on that bench that's right on the other side
That's true.
and watch the path, because there are people coming up this path,
Almost here.
and they're almost to blows with
That
each
is
other.
true.
It is just right at that line.
True.
One more verbal altercation, and it might convert to a physical altercation. Friends, how nice to see you. Why don't you sit down with us? Have a little talk. We know both of you. We recognize you. You were studying our videos
That's true.
in the refugee camps. It's very nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you.
And you are Samuel's number 2. We met you on the train.
Yes.
I hope that you have done something in between then and now, because at that point you weren't doing anything to improve your situation or improve yourself.
That's true.
And I see from this other gentleman's reaction that probably that hasn't changed much.
That's true.
It's an interesting choice you're making after all the evidence that's accrued in the interim.
That's true.
But it does seem to be the choice that you're still making. For example, where's your book? It seems to be in your back pocket.
That's true.
That's not really a useful place for it.
No, you can't hear it or see it.
Your book is highlighted. I can see what you've read and what you haven't read. And you've been getting 2, 3, 4 good ideas from every page. But you've been skimming and picking and choosing.
That's true.
And that's really the long, slow, painful way to go about things.
That is true.
And that's probably why you're so irritated with this. That's an interesting word you're calling him there, friend.
That's true.
I understand. I have experience with this gentleman as well. However,
true.
the reason that you're so upset with him is you haven't been reading your book and doing what you were supposed to do with him.
That's true.
He says, well, he wouldn't follow his script anyway. That's true, but that's why your part of the script doesn't show what his lines are. It shows your part, and then it has like a blank where his part is. He's so arrogant that he won't read a script that's handed to him by divine wisdom.
That's true.
Personally for him, personally scripted for his immediate situation. He's too arrogant to do that, which is probably why he's not going to last very long up here in the danger zones.
It's precisely channeled.
Trying to get away from him has led you up this mountain because he was following you 10 steps behind and you decided you wanted to get away from him as fast as possible.
That's true.
So what a beautiful blessing he's turned out to be for you, because you've gotten here a lot sooner than you would have if he weren't right on your tail. Now you can see that he has been a gift, and that perhaps without him you might have turned around and gotten disheartened.
Yes.
So in a way, he has been an encouragement to you, in a flip-sided way, in a backhanded way.
That's true.
He's been a true and strong encouragement to you.
That's true.
So what a gift he's been.
Yes.
And I can see that you can feel that.
Yes, and you're starting to breathe better.
Yeah, there you go. It feels like you're letting go of the story that he was simply a burden.
That's true.
An unmitigated burden. Unmitigated, that's a good word you have there.
That's true.
So we can let go of the idea that this, that's an interesting word you're calling him there. I understand. But
That's
we
true.
can let go of the idea that he was only a burden and had nothing of the gift in him.
That's true.
Because he brought the gift of repulsion, actually.
That's true.
Through being so repulsive, he encouraged you to go up the mountain really fast.
That's true.
And so we can see how he's getting upset at being called repulsive. But
Yeah,
that's his choice. So, sir, Samuel's number 2, if you will look in your book, it will tell you what your response is. When my book, because my book said to use that word repulsive,
That's true.
so your book is going to give you the words to respond. He says, I don't need any.
That's true.
Interesting epithet, book.
That's true.
Language, sir. Language. That's a sacred divine book you're talking about there.
That's true. He won't even take it out of his pocket.
No, he's an arrogant asshole.
Yeah.
That's what my book's line
That's
say.
what it says. Arrogant asshole.
You're an arrogant asshole.
You're an arrogant asshole.
So, friend, we remind you that this red line is sacred. Incorrect. We remind you that inside this red line is sacred.
That's true.
Inside this red line is sacred. And this dimension is extremely responsive to thought.
That's true.
And so we see that right now it's like electrified. And it lets people in who have the intention to follow their book.
That's true.
Now, you, Mr. Video Student, you have the opportunity to intend to follow your book. Your book. Each book is personal.
That's true.
You're not following my book. You're
No,
not following Jamie's
my
book.
book.
You're following your book.
That's true.
Your book is written just for you. It tells you exactly what to do in any moment.
That's true.
If you intend to follow it, you can get through this. It's kind of like an electrified field.
It is.
Just as an experiment. And you don't have to take my suggestion, but it's what my script says I'm supposed to say.
That's
my book
true.
says I'm supposed to suggest this to you.
That's true.
Why don't you, Mr. Video Student, set your intention to follow your book, come through cross the red line,
That's true.
see how it feels to you, and then Mr. Arrogant Asshole, continue in your intention to not follow your book, and you try and come in, but one at a time, one at a time.
It's an experiment.
And then just an experiment, and given Mr. Arrogant Asshole that you've been following Video Student up the mountain the whole way, why don't you let that continue, okay? Fair is fair.
That's true.
So, Mr. Video Student, set your intention first. You haven't really done it.
There. But
Now, come on through. Describe how that felt.
good.
Yeah, good. Tingling.
Yes.
Tingling and like grooming. He said like the feathers down my back were being combed. But Mr. Video Student, you're going to want to watch this because you'll enjoy this.
That's
Let's
true.
stand back about 10 feet.
10 feet.
Okay, I'll just call you arrogant asshole because
That's what the book calls you.
That's what my line says, is to call you arrogant asshole. All right, you arrogant asshole, come on in.
Ooh, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
That looked like it hurt.
And he's saying bad things about the system because he feels like it almost gave him a heart attack and almost stopped his heart with an electrical shock.
That's true.
Well, were you warned, yes or no? He's saying if you're going to run that kind of voltage, you should have a warning sign. Well, look in your book. See what it says about it.
That's true. It's right there.
It's right there in big red.
Big
with a
letters.
black like big bold box around
It
it.
takes up a large part of a page.
You were warned. You didn't choose to look at the warning because you're an arrogant asshole.
That's true.
So, friend, we're going up the mountain. I don't expect I'll see you again, but if you change your attitude, and your book will tell you how to change your attitude.
That's true.
If you change your attitude, then maybe we will see you again. And if not, good luck to you because you will need it.
That's true.
All right, Mr. Video Student, let's go on up the mountain. This is hallowed ground. It's sanctified.
It's true.
We're going to continue on. Why don't you read your book and you tell us what the book says to do? Now let's get our seats. He's reading from his script. He said, where is the third person? My book says, and I'm supposed to read it in a stilted tone as if making it clear I'm reading.
That's true.
He is still at camp. He is struggling with himself.
That's true.
But I could have just said that. He's still at camp. He's still struggling with himself.
That's true.
And that's okay. So you have that seat today.
That's true.
And my book says that you are fully aware of the flash of light experiment.
Yes, that's true.
You have to be willing to be consumed in the process. For real, not for pretend. And so here's a form, and it looks like the horseback riding or skydiving
yes,
form.
I understand the risk.
And it's not just a risk.
It's
a certainty.
I understand the
This is
certainty.
a fatal experiment.
That's true.
I will not survive.
That's true.
A successful flash of light experiment. Some people might think of this as it would be lucky for the experiment to not work because you would, quote, survive, unquote.
That's true.
But I know that that is incorrect.
That is incorrect.
I know the most glorious outcome is for a successful experiment.
That's true.
And that we won't survive, but that we'll be transformed in a glorious event. And that it's much better to have a successful flash of light than to, quote, survive, unquote.
That's true.
So I signed the paperwork with glee, with joy. With joy. I signed the paperwork with joy. And I turn it in, and I take my seat, and it's kind of like an electrified seat, you know?
Yeah, I sit and it goes zip.
Yeah, zip. Wow. I just let the current flow, and now my perspective shifts to the bird, and I feel a hole. It's like many rings of holes opening up above me, and
that's true. Many
in succession,
levels.
Many rings of holes. It feels comforting, this thought of being able to keep going until I find some layer where people have their channels up.
That's true.
Not needing to stop until we find the place in which people have their channels up, like they're checking out this very kind old woman.
That's true.
I don't feel channels up, so this is just an overnight resting spot, and we'll be leaving again in the morning.
That's true.
And so we're grateful. It's kind of like the Underground Railroad, you know, coming up from the south, going to the north, and we're grateful, very grateful.
That's true.
For stopping here, but it isn't a place we wish to stay.
That's true.
We're not to the Mason-Dixon line. We're not to the Freedom line yet.
That's true.
We're headed for freedom, and we're still south of it. So we're grateful for shelter overnight. We are, and for food. We are.
That's true.
And we'll be leaving again in the morning.